So recently, I challenged myself to drive a race car. Not an average one, but I rented a 488 Challenge Evo at Vegas Speedway and I got coached in it. And boy oh boy, it was a really humbling experience. So I want to share the 3 lessons I've learned in driving a race car. Now, just to give you some context, this is not your average 488 GTB. It is a full-fledged race car, which makes it a little bit more intimidating. To give you some context, I'm going to show you a video how the car looks like. You guys are going to check out the interior of the Challenge Evo car, right? Proper race car. I think this is just plastic. This is our, window. And check it out. These are the roll cage and stuff. Bucket seats. I think 5-point harness. Which I want to show you guys. So this is how it looks like inside here. All the little buttons and stuff. There's our pedal shifter. So this thing is all carbon, but this one is like rubber. So we gotta use gloves, right? And that's how it looks like here. Right? It's the master, and then start your car and stuff like that. Brake pedals, brake accelerator. Pretty much it. It's just a very stripped down 488. If you look over there at the end, it's written there 488 Challenge. So I thought I was a pretty good driver. Well, not really, because when I got into the car, I was trying to impress my instructor. So I went and pushed the car a little bit, but the best lap I've gotten out of the first outing was 1:04, which compared to my instructor, he was getting a 54 seconds lap time. That's like a 10 seconds lap time. That's like more than night and day. It's like not even the same class, which is true because he's a professional racing driver. And now at that point, after my first outing, I realized I got so much to learn, right? And in the past, I've already attended certain driving courses and I've driven my Spider a lot. So I thought I was fast, and I adopted all these things like, smooth steering and smooth throttle and, pitch and yaw. But these 3 distinctions I've learned is sort of taking all of that and taking it to a next level. And it took me all the way from 1:04 down to 58 seconds. That's 6 seconds improvement in just one day. And I think that's a pretty decent learning curve, right? I want to share all these 3 with you. The first one is smooth in and fast out. Now in the past, I always emphasize on slow in, fast out, which means I over brake, right? I brake to get my car really slow to get into the corner. And then when I feel slow, I would then whack my throttle harder to get my car to exit, right? Now, in that sense, the car feels faster because there's more, there's more G-force back and forth, left and right, and accelerating out. So the sensation actually feels fast, but it's not fast. And this is something I've been doing all the time when I'm, in the past, okay? And I took it to the track. And lo and behold, it doesn't do a good lap time. Because I thought that if I can accelerate more, I can get faster. But if you watch my instructor's clip, you watch that he's going around 54, and you can see that he actually accelerates way earlier than I do. I'm going to show you a clip right now. And look at the top speed. He's going all the way to 200 plus kilometers an hour on that straight, whereas my speed is only around 190 at best.
Look for your corner, start turning in towards the apex down at the bottom, and then as you accelerate, straighten the wheel at the same time. Shift up to the left side. Good. And brake straight, downshift. Good, slowly turn in off the brakes. Don't worry so much about your gear changers. You're changing gears quite a bit. It's not bad, but sometimes I think you're thinking more about the gear changes than you are about the speed.
Got it.
Shift up. Just stay in this gear for now. To the right-hand side. Start to brake. And now left. Don't down, yeah.
Oh,
remember
sorry.
how, that's what I'm saying. You're thinking about the gears, I think, too much. So let's go ahead and focus more on everything else.
All right.
So keep on accelerating.
Now you saw that. it's not because he has a more powerful car, it's because he had a chance to put down the throttle earlier because of his smooth entry. So this is a big learning curve. And after applying some of it, I felt the car didn't feel faster, like because there's lack of G-force. But at the end of every straight, it actually caught me off guard. My car was so fast that I started braking a little bit panicky, right? I braked a little bit too hard, which leads to my second point about brake balance. Now, the second point is brake balance and braking technique. So when I brake into the corner, sometimes I brake too hard and then I let go too hard. And what happens is that when I let go too hard, for example, the car would then, go from, diving in to this very, very quickly. And what that happens is that when the car is going this way, you don't have a lot of grip in the front, which means I have to yank the steering a bit more. My turning in is I can't carry as much speed as I can into the corner, right? And that doesn't set the car up for success, right? So what I've learned is to not only brake hard, but as I'm going to the corner, I slowly release the brake. And it's kind of weird because you can't really explain theoretically. You gotta really know how much you can release and how much you can turn. Because if you release too little and turn too fast, the car goes into the understeer or maybe an oversteer, and likely an understeer that leads into an oversteer, right? And that's not a good thing. So you gotta really get that balance, which is kind of something I can't explain over a video. But when you get it, the car just feels so smooth. Now, just watch this video of when I really, really got it right.
On it, a little further, now brake. Left, release brake. Now accelerate, there you go. Okay, there we go. Nice job. Brake, downshift. Good. Start your turn in, release the brake.
And I want to compare to this other video when my car keeps jerking, and look at the lap time that's down on the left side, what kind of average lap time I'm doing.
Over to right side, and over to left side. Good. Shift up. Brake, left, release brake. You don't have to downshift there. Okay. Just accelerate straight through.
And that's the power of brake balance, right? Setting your car into the right angle, into the right balance so you can throttle out of the corner. Again, it's the same thing building on the first one, smooth in, fast out. Now, the other thing about brake balance that I've learned is that when you're going to brake, you want to not brake too hard, too fast in the beginning as well. So when I was driving with Zen Low on my M2 competition, I kept locking in my ABS because I would just jab my brake. Then the car will start locking and then the braking becomes inefficient. What I've learned from my instructor is to gradually put pressure quickly versus a jab, right? Because if you do this, you give your tire a chance to start slowing the car down. But if you jab, the car just locks and the ABS starts doing its work, which is inefficient. So you have to brake a little bit below the ABS kicking in. Right? That, again, it's a balance you got to figure out for your car. And that's why experience is so important, right? And sometimes when I underbrake, this is the third thing, when I underbrake my car, I end up braking a little bit more harder. So the car goes in the brake like this, and then the car let goes, and then again, right? So the brake should be in one fell swoop, one in and one out. So at the laps I was doing very bad, I was going in, oh wait, and more. And then that's, my exit becomes really, really poor, especially for the last straight. I'll show you a video over here.
So you could be fast out. Jeez! Brake now, downshift, good. Brake. Try not to jump off the brakes so quickly though. Okay. When you jumped off the brakes, you turned in. Everything happened very fast. Try to smooth out the transitions.
After fixing that, the last thing I've learned is to prioritize balance over power. Before I go on to point number 3, I want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Expel Malaysia, for making this clip possible. Now, Expel Malaysia provides for me the best solution for protection for your car. And this is not only something that I'm pulling out from some fact sheets, because it's my experience with Expel Malaysia. So I got my Porsche Boxer Spider wrapped with the full front protection, and my car takes a lot of abuse for 2.5 years. I take it on track, I go on mountain roads, I even take this car on a 6,800 kilometers drive all the way to Thailand and back, and the car was littered with stone chips, dirt and industrial fallout and mud and whatsoever. And when I got my car back, when I washed it, it just maintains its nice glossy look and exterior. There was no browning, yellowing, etc. and just really, really impressed. And that's why I'm so confident in recommending XPEL through my own experience. So if you're looking for protection for your car, look no further. Link in the description below to find out more how much it will cost for your car and get a consultation for your car as well. All right? With that, let's go to point number 3. Balance over power. Now, I'm using this chair over here to sort of describe balance, I guess. And let's switch it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun, right? So it kind of builds on to point number 1, which is smooth in, fast out. Now, when I'm driving my car, and one of the mistakes I think amateurs do, and I still do it, I'm always thinking about how much power I can put down on the car. Power, power. To go fast, put power. And that's what led me to a low lap time, because I'm thinking about how much power I can put. But the precursor of how much power you can put, the condition on how much power you can put, is actually balance. So if your car is not sitting in the right axle or in the right angle in the corner, you essentially can't put the power down. So balance will give you access to power. Now, for a lot of cars that maybe I like to think, cars that are 200 horsepower and below, you can abuse the balance and it's not so bad. But I think when the car gets more and more powerful, you got to really respect the balance. It's so easy, I think, for a 300 horsepower car or 400 horsepower car to kick your car out of balance if you put the power on when the car doesn't have balance, right? I'll give you a clip, for example. This is a clip this is the corner that really challenged me a little bit. And it's all about just lifting off and throttling on. And it's the timing of it. So as you can see, I'm going in this left, I'm building up speed. And there's a moment I will lift off, and then I'll wait for the car to sit back on the other side to turn to the right, right? Now imagine if I just kept throttling and then, I want to put as much power as possible. I just yank my car to the left, that's it. The car will snap and I'll end up in the gravel, right? So it's a lot about making sure the car sits on the right axle every single time. In fact, when I finally got it on my fastest lap, right, I had this beautiful turn-in and this really late apex. I'll show you this.
Woo, let's go! Let's go!
Yeah!
Okay, good job. We're going to do a cool down lap now, okay?
Alright.
Woohoo! Shift up into 7th gear. Come off of the gas now. And just coast all the way. No brakes. Hey, right here.
Is that right?
As you can see, my instructor is also pretty excited that I got the balance right for that corner exit, right? And as a result, I did my fastest lap, right? I know it sounds something very superficial, but for me, it's a big breakthrough. And sitting in my instructor's car, seeing how he drives all the way to 54 seconds, the car felt really smooth. It didn't feel jerky. There's not a lot of G-force back and forth, back and forth. It was just a lot of, small movements here and there, and then boom, 54 seconds. Right? It didn't even feel fast, but it was fast. I don't want to explain that. Maybe it's just noticing what's the top speed at the end of every straight. All right? How much power you could put down on the car even at a corner or in a long sweeping bend, for example. So the point is, I was really humbled, and starting to change my opinion right now. If I want to go fast, I got to make sure I'm smooth. I got to make sure that I brake properly, and to make sure that my balance is always right, because that will give me the ticket or give me the authority to put down power, right? Again, it's so humbling because I've driven cars of different horsepowers, but I've never really driven them to the limits because I'm always in the public road. Driving this kind of teach me how to respect the car even more, to work with the car a bit more. And once you get all these fundamentals right, I started to notice that I started to trust the cars I drive a bit more, because now I understand these foundations. So I'm not saying that I'm a really good driver right now. I got so much more to learn. But the point is that it's so important to keep pursuing knowledge on how to drive. You know, the way every time I go for a driving class, it just changes how I see cars. And it does make me a safer driver on the road because now I understand these dynamics that comes into car control, right? Now, this is so important because I think in the car community, we all like to enjoy our cars. And I think when people want to go faster, it's really common that I hear among my peers that people tune their cars, they get better tires, they get better brakes or suspension. While all of that does have an objective way to make your car go faster, but physics still always apply, right? Mass still moves. There's something called momentum, inertia, balance. All of that's so important. And the fun thing about those things is that you can't learn it theoretically. You got to experience it. And because it's a practical experience, you need someone who knows how to guide you there, and therefore the importance of an instructor, right? So again, I want to give a big shout out to Vegas Speedway. It's an amazing experience, and big kudos to my coach as well, and you know, to show me a really humbling experience, right? So if you want to find out more about where you can rent a race car and get an instructor, I'll put the link in the description below to Vegas Speedway. Highly recommend if you're ever going to the States. Okay, so this is the end of the video, but don't go just yet. What I'm going to do at the end after this clip is to show you my fastest lap on my first bout and how these three things applied together gave me my best lap at my third bout, right? So with that, you can see how all of these three actually plays in the real world, okay? Now if you enjoyed this video, please help me give me a thumbs up button, like button down there. It does make a big difference. And let me know in the comments below what do you think or what are your experiences with racing cars and maybe something that you see that I didn't see when I'm driving my car. I'd love to learn from you guys as well. And thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more contents like this in the future, right? Love you guys and peace out. Enjoy the clip.
Look for your corner. Start turning in towards the apex, down at the bottom. And then as you accelerate, straighten the wheel at the same time. Shift up to the left side. Good.
Alright. My best lap.
And brake straight, downshift, downshift. Get ready for your turning. Next lap will brake at the same pressure, but a little bit later, okay? Okay. Squeeze throttle, start to accelerate now. Good. Brake, stay wide. Start your turning slowly. Now bring it into the left side. Very good. Much better. Good. Then back over to right. Eyes left. Shift up. Look to your right for the next step. Start to brake now. Inside left. Release brake. Let it settle. Then accelerate straight through. Good. Okay, shift good job. We're going to do a cool down lap now, okay? Brakes. Downshift. Shift up into 7th gear. Let your hands come off of the gas now. Visualize that.